Hello and welcome to my science tutorials. In today's video, we want to look at how to solve non-linear simultaneous equations. So let's begin. So what is the difference between a linear simultaneous equation and non-linear simultaneous equation? Now, for a linear simultaneous equation, say in the form of x and y, we have the equation expressed, let's say 7x plus 2y is equal to, let's say, 11. So this is a linear simultaneous equation because we can see we have two variables, x and y, and then a constant term in this equation. Now they are not raised to any power, so we call them linear simultaneous equation. Now for a non-linear equation, we are having, let's say, something like 7x squared plus 2y is equal to 11. The moment we have one of the variables raised to a power, then it becomes a non-linear simultaneous equation. So assuming we are given let's say 7x plus 2y is equal to 11 and 7x squared plus 2y is equal to, let's say, 14 as an equation to solve, we need to solve this. Because we are solving these two equations, it becomes a simultaneous equation where it is a non-linear simultaneous equation. It's a non-linear because the second equation has an s squared term. Because it has an s squared term, if we want to solve this equation, we need to solve it via the substitution method of solving simultaneous equation. So we need to use the substitution method. Right, so let's have a look at some examples to appreciate what we are talking about. So say we have x plus 2y is equal to 7 as equation 1, and then we have another equation, x squared plus y squared is equal to 10 as our equation 2. How do we solve these two equations to find the value of x and y? Right, so from here, using the substitution method, the first thing we do is to make one of the variables the subject, and I will do that by making x the subject in equation 1. So I'm going to say making x the subject in equation 1. So if I make x the subject over here, I'm going to have x is equal to 7, then I bring the 2y to the other side of the equal to sign, it becomes minus 2y. So from here, I'll say substitute x into equation 2. Okay, so it means wherever I see x, I should place 7 minus 2y in there. So I have here 7 minus 2y in place of the x here, and I squared it, plus y squared is equal to 10. Okay, so from here I can expand this bracket and then I solve for my y. So from here I can bring 7 out, then into bracket 7 minus 2y. Okay, so let me not jump that step, let me take it one after the other. So from here it means I have this bracket, the content in the bracket twice. So I have into bracket 7 minus 2y multiplied by 7 minus 2y plus y squared is equal to 10. So I can now use the content over here to multiply the content over here. So I use the 7 first, 7 into bracket 7 minus 2y. Then I have the second term over here, minus 2y. I use it to multiply this, so 7 minus 2y again, plus y squared, this y squared is equal to 10. Alright, so 7 multiplied by 7 will give me 49, minus 7 multiplied by 2 will give me 14y, minus here will also give me 14y, then here will give me plus 4y squared, plus another y squared is equal to 10. So from here I have 49 minus 14y minus 14y will give me minus 28y. So I have minus 28y here, then plus I have 4y squared and then y squared, that will give me 5y squared is equal to 10. Okay, so from here I can see that I have y squared, y, and a constant, another constant. So I need to group items. So I'm going to rewrite this whole equation, bring in 5y first. So I have 5y squared minus 28y plus the 49 here. Then I bring the 10 over here to this side of the equal to sign, so it becomes minus 10 is equal to 0. So I have 5y squared minus 28y plus 49 minus 10 will give me 39. So over here I have 39. So plus 39 is equal to 0. So we can see that we have this equation is what we call a quadratic equation. This is a quadratic equation. So from this quadratic equation, I need to solve it by method of factorization, and then I find my values of y. So I use the coefficient of to solve quadratic equation. You use the coefficient of the y squared term over here, which is 5 over here, to multiply the constant. So 5 multiplied by 39 will give me 195. Now, which two numbers will I multiply to get 195 but add to get negative 28? So negative 15, negative 13 will do that. Negative 15 multiplied by negative 13 will give me 195, but if I add them, it will give me negative 28. So I'm going to use that. So I have 5y squared minus 15y minus 13y plus 39 is equal to 0. So from here, I can go ahead and do my factorization. So between 5y squared and 15y, I can see that 5y is common, so I factor out 5y. Then I have into bracket y minus 3 over here. Then between minus 13y and 39, I can see that minus 13 is common, so I have minus 13 outside bracket. Then into bracket y minus 3, bracket close, is equal to 0. So I have 5y minus 13, and then y minus 3 is equal to 0. From here, I can now equate each of these brackets to 0. So it means I have 5y minus 13 is equal to 0, and then y minus 3 is equal to 0. So over here, 5y equals 13, and therefore y is equal to 13 on 5. On the other hand, we have y to be equal to positive 3. So it means that after solving for y, we have two values of y. But know that this is simultaneous equation in two variables, that is x and y. So we have two values for y. So it means we have to get their corresponding x values. So let's do that. So let me use another color. So if y is equal to 13 on 5, okay, then it means the x value from here is equal to 7 minus 2 into bracket 13 on 5. So x will be equal to, if you compute this into your calculator, you're going to get x to be 1.8. Now if y is equal to 3, then it means that I'm going to have my x to be equal to 7 minus 2 into brackets 3, and that will give me 7 minus 6, and x is equal to 1. So therefore, my answer is s is equal to 1.8 and y is equal to 13.5. Sorry, 13 on 5, or x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 3. You can see that we have two sets of answers over here because one of them is in a form that we are calling a non-linear simultaneous equation form, a non-linear form. So we are having two sets of answers for this particular example. All right, so let's go ahead and solve more examples to appreciate how to solve non-linear simultaneous equation. All right, so we have to solve the following pair of equations. So we have we have k squared plus km is equal to 8, and then we have m is equal to k minus 6. This is equation 1, this is equation 2. Then we have we have x squared minus 2y squared is equal to 8, and then we have x plus 2y is equal to 8. Equation 1, equation 2. All right, so let's go ahead and look at how to solve these two problems. So solution I. So I have k squared plus km is equal to 8 as my first equation. I have m is equal to k minus 6 as my second equation. Now if you look at equation 1 and equation 2, they've already made one of the terms the subject in equation 2, so there's no need you make anything the subject. From here you can straight away go ahead and say substituting m into equation 1, or substituting equation 2 into equation 1, you are going to have k squared plus k into bracket, the m now becomes k minus 6. This is equal to 8. So from here, let's go ahead and expand the bracket. So I still have k squared here, plus k multiplied by k will give me k squared. K multiplied by negative 6 will give me negative 6k is equal to 8. So k squared will give me 2k squared minus 6k. I bring the 8 to the other side of the equal to sign, it becomes minus 8 equals 0. So over here, I have a quadratic equation, but I can see that these terms can be divided. So I divide both sides by 2, by 2, by 2 to simplify it. So I'm going to have k squared minus 3k minus 4 is equal to 0. So this becomes my quadratic equation that I'm going to factorize. So let me rewrite that here. K squared minus 3k minus 4 is equal to 0. Now the coefficient of the k squared term here is 1. So if I use that 1 to multiply negative 4, I still have negative 4. Now which two numbers will I multiply to get negative 4? But if I add them, I get negative 3. So you see that negative 4, positive 1 will do that for us. So let's go ahead and use that. So negative 4 multiplied by positive 1 will give us negative 4. But if we add them, we get negative 3. So we have here k squared minus 4k plus k minus 4 is equal to 0. So I can factor k out here. So I have k outside bracket, k minus 4, then plus 1 outside bracket, k minus 4 is equal to 0. So I have k plus 1 into bracket, then I bring one of the repeated roots, k minus 4 is equal to 0. So if I equate this guy to the equal to, so I have k plus 1 is equal to 0, or k minus 4 is equal to 0. So over here I'm going to have k is equal to negative 1, or k is equal to positive 4. Now that we have the k values, note that we need to find the corresponding m values for each of these k's. So when k is equal to negative 1, okay, so when k equals negative 1, let's find the m. So m will be equal to negative 1, which is the k here, minus 6. So m will be equal to what? Negative 7 as our answer. Now let's look at when k is equal to 4. When k is equal to positive 4, we have the m to be equal to 4 minus 6, and then that will give us m to be equal to negative 2. So our solution set is k is equal to negative 1 and m is equal to negative 7, or k is equal to 4 and m is equal to negative 2. So this becomes the answer for the first set of equation. All right, so let's look at the second example that we have over here. So this particular example, so let me get some space. Okay, we have x squared minus 2y squared equals 8, and then we have x plus 2y is equal to 8. This is equation 1 and this is equation 2. All right, so let's go ahead and solve this. So as usual, I want to make my x the subject in equation 2. So I'm going to say making x the subject in equation 2. So if I make x the subject here, I'm going to have x is equal to 8 minus 2y. So I brought the 2y to the other side of the equal to sign, leaving x alone. So from here I can say substituting the value of x, which is 8 minus 2y, into equation 1. So I'm going to have into bracket 8 minus 2y squared minus 2y squared is equal to 8. So this means I have 8 minus 2y, another 8 minus 2y minus 2y squared is equal to 8. So from here I can go ahead and expand the bracket. So I'll have 8 into bracket 8 minus 2y. Then I use the negative 2y to also multiply the bracket. So negative 2y, 8 minus 2y, and this minus this 2y, so minus 2y squared is equal to 8. Alright, so from here 8 multiplied by 8 will give me 64. 8 multiplied by 2 will give me 16, so I have 16y here. So this is also 16y. The negative 2y multiplied by negative 2y will give me positive 4y squared, minus the 2y squared over here is equal to 8. So I have here 64, this guy, negative 16y minus 16y will give me negative 32y. Then I have plus 4y squared minus 2y squared will give me 2y squared is equal to 8. Okay, so from here, let me rearrange this equation. Let me bring 2y squared first. So I'm going to have 2y squared, then minus this 32y, then I write plus 64, and then I'm going to bring this 8 to the other side of the equal to sign, so it becomes minus 8 is equal to 0. So from here, I have 2y squared minus 32y. Now 64 minus 8 will give me plus 56. This is equal to 0. Right, so I can say that I can divide through each of the coefficients of the y squared, the y, and then the constant. I can divide through by 2. So let's do that. So if I divide through by 2, 2, 2, and 2, I'm going to have y squared minus 16y, then plus 28 is equal to 0. So now I have a much more easier equation for me to factorize. So let's go ahead and factorize this equation. So let me erase this guy here. Okay, so we have our equation y squared minus 16y plus 28 is equal to 0. I use the coefficient of the y squared term to multiply 28. So 1 multiplied by 28 is 28. Now which two numbers will I multiply to get positive 28? But if I add them, if I add or subtract, I'm going to get negative 16. Alright, so 14 and 2 will do that. So negative 14, negative 2 will give me positive 28, but negative 14 plus negative 2 will give me negative 16. So I have here y squared minus 2y minus 14y plus 28 is equal to 0. So from here I can factor out y. So I have y outside bracket, y minus 2. Then between 14y and 28, I can see that 14 is common, so I have minus 14 into bracket y minus 2 is equal to 0. So from here I have y minus 14 as one of my factors, then I have y minus 2 also as another factor. So from here I equate both of them to 0. I'll get y is equal to 14 or y is equal to positive 2. Now remember that we did make x the subject, so let's find the corresponding x value. Alright, so when y is equal to 14, we said that x was equal to 8 minus 2y. So it means I'll have here 8 minus 2 into bracket 14, and this will give me 8 minus 28, that will give me negative 20. Okay, this is negative 20. So when y is equal to positive 14, x is equal to negative 20. Now when y is equal to 2, I'm going to have x is equal to 8 minus 2 into bracket 2, and this will give me 8 minus 4, and this is equal to 4. So my solution set over here is when x is equal to -20, y is equal to 14, or when x is equal to +4, y is equal to +2. All right, so before we go, here are some examples for you to try your hands on. I'll be leaving the answers in the description of this video, but I will not solve them. I want you to try your hands on it and leave the answers you've got in the comment section below before you cross-check with the answers I have in the description of the video. All right, so solve these nonlinear equations, simultaneous equations. So I have x squared plus y squared is equal to 10. Then x plus y is equal to 4. This is equation 1. This is equation 2. Then I have k into brackets k minus m is equal to 12 as equation 1. Then I have k into brackets k plus m is equal to 60 as equation 2. So solve these two equations and then write your answers in the comment section of this video, and I'll be sure to go through and also leave my answers in the description of this video, so you can check it out to make sure that the answers you've obtained for x and y, whether they are correct or not. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.